What's up, guys? Welcome back to the stream. Today we're doing a little bit of a different video. I know previously we've been working on a behind the scenes of our short film. It's a behind the scenes video, but today we're going to be doing, we actually filmed a new Mission Impossible video with our friends. So yeah, that's what we're going to be adding today. The goal is to try to get a lot of the green screen shots done. I can show you guys when a couple of people hop on what we're actually recreating. But yeah, I'm going to hop into Final Cut Pro, and I'm going to get to work. So here we go. All right. What I'm trying to do right now is outline myself. I want to be able to see what's behind me, so I'm going to add a green screen or just a green sheet behind me just so I can see what's being removed and what's not being removed. So that's being removed right here. You don't want to delete that, though. Okay, so it kind of had a hard time rotating this part out, or cutting it out, so we're going to try it again. I'm going to turn off the magnetic mask. I think what I'm going to do is turn the exposure up overall so we can kind of see better what's a magnetic mask out. Hopefully that'll help it. Sometimes that can help the magnetic mask do a better job. So I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to reset it. And we'll add our points. We'll start with this boot right here. Leg, shirt. Comment down below, guys, if you're in the chat right now. I'll try to do my best to shout you out. Appreciate everybody who's watching. See, let's make sure it's getting a clean cut out here on the legs. This is where I was struggling last time. Just want to make sure it looks good. Okay, so that actually did a really good one. Right there, I'm just watching this foot. Yeah, it showed a little bit of that, but that's actually really, okay. I think one of those is going to be a winner. So that one actually is really good. This one, though, did not do good. So I'm going to cut this one out. I think we're going to focus in on this one right here. So let's go back to it. Let's go to where it looks jittery, which is right here. And let's make sure we're not picking up this or this or this. We just want the boot. There. Okay, I think it actually did it. Praise the Lord, finally. Sometimes you just trial and error with the magnetic mask. Okay. Wow, that looks a lot better. Okay. So that one looks actually really good. Just cut that out. There was one like flash. I don't know what that was. Just make sure we're not picking that up. Make sure we're not picking this foreground up too. I don't know what you know what? Just remove that. Just gonna draw all over it. Make it smaller. There. Analyze forward. Okay, right here we did lose a bit of this. Okay, so it's picking up the shadow also down here, which we don't really need. So I'm just going to cut that off. There we go. Make sure we're not picking any of this up here. I'm just going to brush over all this over here as well. Don't need any of that. That's a nice cutout right there. Make sure we're moving that. Now we'll do the brush again. Okay, that should be a good cutout, hopefully. Okay, so we're still like missing a boot right there. We don't want to do that. Want to make sure we're getting everything. So I'm just going to zoom in here and add back this boot. It shouldn't be that much gone. We want that part there and that part. It's cutting off because of this wire or this cable that we were using to pull my legs. Okay, let's see if that'll do a good job now. Almost. But right here, it's picking up that, and we don't want that. None of that. None of that. None of that. Okay, now let's analyze that out. Okay, that did actually a pretty good job. It keeps on removing that part right there, but I mean, I don't know what to say. You know, I think we're just, sometimes it helps just to delete it and then redo it. I'm going to redo this. Make sure we're not picking up any shadows, especially right there. Sometimes it doesn't remove after a certain point of time, so let's just see how it does with that. Okay, that's doing a good job. Nice. Honestly, I think that's the best we're going to get it for now, so I'm going to move this over. We can turn back on our green screen here, and we can bring this back down. Where it was, like right there. Now we can move this back over. Okay, so it still's not good. So let me keep on going. Let's keep on seeing if we can get this better. I think the last one was probably the best one. So let me just go back, turn our exposure back up so we can see. Turn off the green screen. Just delete the magnetic mask for now. So let's go over here. Let's make sure the shot lines up first and then do the green screen job after. Turn it on just for reference. The one before. I think right there looks good. A little too early. Slightly more. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so now we have that outlined. Let's go over here and try to outline these boots. So we'll have back our green. And then we'll turn off the green screen here. Add a magnetic mask. And add our body in. I think I'm not going to minimize the straps this time and see if it works better. Just remove there. Okay, so that looks good right there. Then I want to remove the shadows, make sure we're not picking any of those up. And we got to make sure we're adding this boot back. Right there. All right. Did a pretty good job, except for right there. So let's just cut that part out. And with this, let's take it away with the brush. The magnetic mask can be really touchy. Okay, for now we're gonna leave that. I know it's not perfect, but I already spent a while on it. Move it back to the original spot. And we'll put this over all that. And the green screen key on. Now what we'll do, we're going to need to take a screenshot of this. So we'll find the part that we're going to use for our screenshot, which will probably be the highest point right here. We'll use this one right here. We'll hold Option F. Actually, we're going to drag this up first. Option F, that'll freeze frame it. Move this out. Delete it. And then with this clip right here, I'm going to go in and export this as save the current frame. Okay, so this would be plane 2. We're going to save it to we'll just save it to downloads. Okay, so once that's saved, I'm going to open up Photos real quick. Hang on one second. I'm just going to remove this. I'll add it in here real quick, and I'll bring it back in. One moment. We'll just do the clean up. Let me show you guys so you can see. One second. Okay, you guys should be able to see that now. There we go. If I move that tab around. Okay, so I'm just going to go over here. Remove Tom Cruise from the scene. Okay, undo that. We got to do his entire body, so let me first crank up this size. Just so we can get the pole isolated and also that wheel back there. No, that's not what we want to do. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do instead is just remove this front part. It's not seeming to remove the back part. It's right there. Close. Not close enough though. Let's remove that. Let's start removing the arm. Okay, now. Just the arm. Okay, there we go. Looks better. Now the hand. Really, all we need to do is get rid of the hands, and we should be good. Just like that. And then I kind of want to add back this wheel because it looks like it's kind of gone. Okay, I think that's good. So I'm gonna press done. That's good enough. Now I'll go to Finder. Now you guys can't see this, but I'm gonna drag it in real quick. Okay, so now we have our JPEG. Close that out. Hide that. Okay, now so if I import our plain JPEG here, now we have a nice plain picture. And that's all removed. So now we're gonna have to do the masking. So let's go mask, shape mask, and then this is where the fun part begins. This is where we have to manually mask it. Go like there. Start by roughly doing it. There. There. All the way down here. And then I'm actually going to this one here, this one here. Like that. Now I'll hide this, and now you can start the masking process. Okay, so first of all, let's round this part off. This is a point right here. So we want to go there. This has got to be all the way up there. Keep it like that. Now, this one should go right here. Keep it like that. So we're gonna just have to estimate for this wheel because it's super blurry. It's probably gonna be like there. And then the wheel actually stops here. So if the wheel stops here and this goes here, what we'll do is we'll extend this out like this. That means, so usually what I'll do here is I'll just delete it. When you put a lot of points, it can make it more difficult. So the wheel should be longer on this side, shorter on this side. Probably like there. Make sure the bar is all the way masked. I'm gonna drop down to here, right here. Stop it right there. Go to like 100. Start at this point. Make sure it's smooth. And bring that all the way out so we're not grabbing any unnecessary stuff. This right here, I do want to mask it out, but it's going to be kind of difficult to do. So let's try this. I'm going to take one of these knobs away. Okay, and then this one prop here, I put something here and there. I want that cord coming in. It'll make it look more realistic. We can add a mask to remove it later. And now bumping up to over here. About right there. And this one, let's just bring it back in for 1 second. And make sure we're outlining it properly. There we go. Okay, so that looks pretty good. That front end right there, can you move back probably a little? And then I'll add one more draw mask just to remove this little piece right there. And then we'll just invert the mask. There we go. That's what we want. So we want that rectangle like there. One complaint I do have with Final Cut Pro's like masking feature is you can't really once something goes out of frame, like a keyframe, it's not really easy to bring it back into frame, which is kind of annoying to be honest. You have to like zoom out to like 12.5 and then fix it, but it is what it is. Okay, so there we go. That's a pretty good outline job. Let me just, so like for instance right here, I can't do anything about that one. There we go, there it is. So it's gonna stop there. Okay, I think that looks good. Okay, sweet. So now we have all that outline. Now we can bring it back over to the real shot, which is right here. Pretty good cutout job there. So that's okay that the wheel's blurry. It's pretty much blurry for most of the shot. Okay, boom. So now, comment down below, guys, if you're on the chat. Right now, I'm just editing a little bit of behind the scenes, or this is just a behind the scenes on one of our new projects. It's a behind the scenes on Mission Impossible. It's from the new movie, The Final Reckoning. But yeah. Thanks for watching. Appreciate everybody who's on. So now what we're going to do is we're going to track this shot. So we'll try to find something that we can track. Probably, I'm going to say this thing right, this little angle of a pole right here. That, and then I'm going to just put it on point cloud. Okay, it's not really tracking it. We want all the jitters and stuff too, so there we go. That might do it. Now if we put this on here, we'll go to our track, object track, and then we'll turn rotation off. Put it on 0 and see if it moves around. Okay, so it's definitely not moving around the same. Let's try on a different thing to track. I think that will be the best thing to track, this little beam right here. So let me just move this. I'll reset the tracker. Sometimes if you try to retrack something after you've already tracked it, it's better to reset the tracker because it can like keep those old keyframes and it just doesn't work very well. I'm just going to leave it on automatic this time and see what it does. I don't really like the shape, how it's making that shape. Okay, maybe that was a good one though. Okay, so that doesn't do a good job. Neither does that. So reset it. I think the best job was automatic. I don't know why it keeps on picking up random stuff. That's why. See, so that track wasn't working because of that reason. You gotta be careful with that. Put on automatic. Did it again. I'm just gonna delete it. Then we'll add a new one. I wish they would make tracking on Final Cut Pro a little easier, but fortunately it's not. Keeps on doing random stuff. There we go. Oh, so see, point cloud can get it, and then all of a sudden it's like it'll stop halfway. Not really sure why. There. Okay. I think that's what we're gonna have to work with for that one. Let's minimize this. And we'll put these back at 0. 0. And see how it does. Doesn't seem like it's working. Let's see. Okay, yeah, it's not. There we go. I think that should do it. I mean, not bad. It's not doing that good of a job, to be honest. So sometimes if that's not working, the best next bet is to grab something like this. There's a wheel over here. Or the cone shape. When it goes out of frame, it can kind of start like wigging out. So let's try analyzing that. I think this wheel is going to be our best option. But it's, yeah, that part right there, the wheel on the cone. See if it can track that pretty good. Okay, let's keep on moving. So I'll change it to point cloud. There we go. That's a really good track. Okay, now let's see if it'll do a better job. There we go. That's exactly what we want. We'll probably scale it up a bit just so it lines up better. Nice. Okay. Finally, we're getting somewhere. Now what we'll do is unhide this. I'm going to position myself on the bar. So what I'm going to do is make this a new compound clip real quick. Hang on 1 second. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that, guys. I'm back. Okay, we're gonna add myself now onto this. Let's see here. Okay, I'm just putting in a compound clip for now, just so we have a reference here. Let's see what it looks like. Comment down below, guys, if you're in the chat right now. I appreciate everyone who's on. Just trying to key myself out and add myself to this bar. This is a shot from the new movie, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Okay, there we go. Sorry, the computer is loading there. Hang on. All right. Okay, now I'm going to force quit Final Cut Pro real quick. It'll do stuff like this sometimes, so it's good just to force it. Gone. Let me reopen it. And then let me relink the screen real quick with the new one. Okay, now play right here, but that play, yeah, okay, there we go. All right, there we go. Okay, we're gonna go back into this compound clip, and then we're gonna fix my lighting here real quick. So let's resume this. For now, I'm just gonna put this back to 0 and 0 and 101. Okay. I'm also gonna crop off the top just so we know there's a top edge here, and we don't want that. And I'll crop off this bottom edge too. There we go. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is align my hands on the pole. So go to transform. It's loading. Shouldn't be any distortion. Okay, yeah, we're good. So that looks good right there. I'm gonna change the rotation by like there. Okay, that looks good. So now my hands are actually, on the bar, supposedly. Fiddle play. Come on. Let's see here. Okay. Let it just render real quick. And okay, now it should play. There we go. So now my hand is on the bar. It looks great. I'm going to go back real quick. I'm going to grab this clip, Command C, and then paste the clip down here on the bottom. And so what I'm going to do with this is I want to just take this background. It's a background for the light suppression. So it's called a light wrap. I'm going to X this out and grab this as our background. Actually, we'll probably grab the last. Probably like there. We'll grab that as our frame. And then we'll hide that. And so that should look better with the outline job. Let's go down. We can adjust the stroke width. So this one, I'm actually going to want it on quite a bit just because we don't want it on too much. You want it towards blurry like that. You don't want it too defined. So I'll lower the width. Probably about there. So that looks really good. Another thing we got to match now is the colors. So I'm just going to drag Tom up so we can see the colors better. If I move this down. Okay, so one thing you got to notice first is the blacks everything's pretty dark. I have everything raised right now. So I'm just going to double click this, put this back to normal. Okay, and we're going to go into, let's see here. I'm going to add in an adjustment layer. And so what we're going to do is the black point, we kind of want down or up. We don't want it too far down, but what we want down is the shadows. So I'm going to turn off the spell suppression real quick. I think it's kind of changing how it looks. Okay. So sorry. Shadows we want up, and we just kind of want everything to be darker. So let me just undo those two things. We want shadows up, but we probably want brightness down, so it looks more like that. This shot is definitely too saturated too, so I'm going to turn the saturation down. So that looks better. I think that spill suppression is a little too much above here. It looks better down here. So I'm going to go up to this spill suppression. I'm going to add a shape mask. And then we want it on the legs, but we don't really want it so much on me. So I'll extend it like probably to there. Keep this part pretty wide open. And then we'll slowly fade it up. So we want it more on the boots than we do on anything. And then we can also we can change the coloring a bit. We don't want the exposure so high. We want it more dark. And then we can turn the width if we want it more, so just like that. And that looks pretty good. In this shot, because there's so much dust, he does look pretty pale. So I think I'm going to turn the saturation down even more. Not that much. I guess we just want to turn, yeah, maybe like -20. I think we want to, honestly, okay, I'm just going to go back to 0. I'm going to go to I'm going to add a hue and saturation curve. And then I'm going to pick up my face, which I feel like is a little bit too dark. And then lower it. There we go. So now we're lowering my face. So it's not so dark. And then that looks pretty good right there. The boots are getting a little blurry as well. So let's go back to the light wrap. And let's put it at like maybe 10. Okay. And then the exposure and brightness on the light wrap should definitely go down. There we go. So now we're getting a more realistic look. Okay, so now our boots look like they have a bunch of dirt on them. Okay, nice. So that looks all pretty good right there. What else? So we have all that done. Another thing is we need to add this effect. So there's a light right there where his leg is, and when he moves it in the light, it gets brighter and brighter. So to do that, I think I'm going to keyframe. So I'm going to go down here. I have this light spill effect right here. And I'm just going to use the mask that I already have, which is right here. And I'm just going to invert it. And then we're just going to basically like track the shot. So where the light goes, I'll just track that with this. So for instance, the light in the video starts right here. So what we want to do is we want kind of a crossfade. We don't want it too harsh. We'll start it here. We'll go a couple of frames. So it relatively stays. So right here, I think is when it starts kind of going up though. So right there, it goes all the way from there up to here. So I'll move this. I'll change the rotation. Okay, so actually I'm gonna move this clip back up. 'Cause I think it's kind of messing with positioning. Let's move this back up. Okay. Let me go to shape mask. Let me go back. So like that. Move forward, and this one's gotta be all the way up here. And for this one, we don't want necessarily, I'll change the color a bit on it. We don't want it like blown out, but we just want it like bright. So I'm not really sure what we did on this one. Light spill, let's see. So this is how it looks right here. So we're adjusting basically this. So I think we want our brightness up. I don't know if it's, I think it's more like our exposure. That way it looks like we're getting the sun. But see, so the brightness I think is too much. I want it to look realistic. So there we go. Now our boots are getting that peak of sunlight when they're reaching that edge there. But we still want black point down in this area. Or not black points, but shadows down. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to call it good. There we go. I'm going to go back. We can watch it back, see how it looks. Let's see here. I'll just link it to this real quick. If it'll load, just so we can see what it looks like. I'll play it back so you guys can see. I'll show you guys what also we're first recreating, and then I'll let this render while we're doing that. I'll show you. This is what we're recreating. Let me open Finder here real quick. And let me do Finder. There we go. Okay, you guys should be able to see this now. So this is what we're recreating. Let me go down to it. Should be somewhere in here. Here we go. Make sure that's open. And let me make sure that's opening on your guys' end. 1 second. Okay, you guys can see it. All right. So this is the shot we're recreating starting from here. So this one, and then skip all this right here, and then we're resuming it right here. So we're resuming. So that's what it looks supposed to look like. Let me hop in here real quick. Let me pin this to our object tracker too. And let me go over here. We just line it up. I think it's more supposed to be like there. Okay, guys, let me render it out, and I can play it back. Almost. Okay, so this is basically what it's going to look like. Let me let this part render too, just so I can show you guys. Sorry, hang on 1 second. Rendering can take a little bit. Okay, I'll just show you this part here. So we'll start right here. All right. So we haven't done these shots yet, but here's what we did today. Let me see, make sure it's playing. Okay, the rotation obviously needs to be taken off, but that looks pretty good. This shot is gonna look like this. We'll work on that probably next time. And then this shot is the one that's closest to being done. And yeah. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate everyone who joined the stream. Hope you guys have a blessed day. And yeah, all